sometimes you just wake up in the morning, prepare yourself for work, you're already very enthusiastic to go and work, and then you get on a bus. The bus is almost full and there's only one seat. There are two seats that are available. You take one and then you have other people come on the bus, but they will decide not to sit next to you. They would rather wait for another bus or rather stand instead of sitting next to you. And that's something that you gets you thinking to say, what's wrong with the seats that is available? So it's something that will start affecting your day. Because for me, how I start my day is gonna determine how the rest of the day is gonna be.
2 weeks ago, I was coming to work and I was almost assaulted by a member of the public, a male person.
Maybe a dropper from my station, try to walk to work, and I'll just sometimes get a racial comment to say, no, what are you doing in our country? You're taking away our jobs, and really hateful comments.
Because it's affecting not just me, it's affecting my family. When I'm going to work, my husband is so scared. He's like, are you going to be okay?
So because I'm an Asian, so there were many times like patients used to call me as. So it was like slowly what happened, like it was making a barrier between the patient and myself. I was becoming hesitant to go to the patient, to give medications or to interact with the patient.
I would be left behind. Some of these patients wouldn't want me to be their name nurse. If the staff is not on shift, the patients engage with me. But if the staff comes on shift, they totally put all attention to her.
If a patient comes to you and then they tell you that being black is their trigger for their self-harming behaviors, how do you work with such patients on the ward there? It is very challenging for a staff. A staff member came to me, they brought their arm close to mine, and then they touched theirs and then said, see, my arm is now turning dark. At that time, it didn't really mean anything to me. I didn't really know what it could mean. But after some time, I started thinking about, think this was racially abusive. This was microaggression. It is not a normal thing that somebody could do that.
Patients can be really abusive, and when they're unwell we can say really nasty things to people. In terms of like the impact, if a patient was to shout "you're fat" to me, most of the staff would challenge that and be like, whoa, hold on a second. Whereas actually when it's a racial slur or some abuse, you tend to find that it's silent, people don't challenge that. I want you to know it's not just what we choose to do, but what we choose not to do that is going to have as damaging an effect.
So what I want you to know is, if you do not support me in situations of racism, it makes me feel like I'm not part of the team. I'm not being supported at all.
I want you to know that sometimes there are things happening and we don't just feel ready to raise them.
I need to let my manager know, and I let her know. She sent me an email. She sent an email to me, a reply personally, that she was going to see me the next day, and then she doesn't discuss it with me when she sees me. She just sees me and goes like that.
The first ward I work on, at the start of the job, I had some HCAs who were looking down on me, and when I do shift allocation, they wouldn't be happy about it.
So it actually made me think that am I perceived as different, or do they have assumptions or prejudice about me by being just me?
Not having a two-way communication with me. So if any discussion has happened in MDT or any decision that needs to be taken, I was not involved into it. And that was like, absolutely, it was like, what is going on in the shift? I was not able to know.
I want you to know that when you say you would have a word with me and you don't, it has an impact on me.
International staff haven't been invited into the kitchen, or they wanted to do kitchen duties, but they've been asked not to because there's been comments made about them not understanding what the food is, maybe being slower to identify the food and so not being included in that process. It's not necessarily about the actual process of serving food, it's about being part of the team and understanding and welcoming someone into a culture that's different to theirs, so they don't feel alienated.
There was a situation where a staff member asked me to get something. And when I was walking to where the person said I should get that thing, I saw them just coming behind me, and they said, no, I thought you won't find whatever I told you to get because I don't think you have these in Africa. And I was like, for me, obviously, to start off and go to where you've sent me, I understood what you were looking for. So instead of you judging or making that comment, you would have asked me, do you understand? Because some of the times you might think you just making a joke, it's a banter. But at the end of the day, these are things that will get to me. I'll keep on thinking about it to say, what did they mean?
The staff member, for example, who used to pray in his breaks, so he'd take his breaks at set times, he would go do his prayers, he'd come back to the ward. If there'd been an incident while he was off the ward, it almost became a point of abuse, I suppose, around, oh, you didn't come and help, you were on break, you could have come back, you heard the alarms, and it almost was like held against him.
I have few instances that in my interactions with locals, some of my colleagues or even patients who commented about my accent, like they told me that I have a really good English and I do sound like an American. So one of my patients actually asked me if I have been raised in the US. After one comment, I didn't really find it disturbing or conscious. But after several comments, I really do find it a little bit, I do have some discomfort. I want you to know that when you question how well I speak English, it made me question how you see me more widely.
Just because somebody approaches the work here in the UK and in the NHS slightly different because of their experiences and the way they've learned in their own countries and cultures does not mean it's any less. It means they need support around how we do things here.
The ward which I work currently, I was requesting to be moved, and she said, you moving out of the ward is not the problem, it's dealing with the situation.
Nowadays, I've seen in my experiences in other wards that there are lots of Asian patients as well. And I have felt that, okay, because I know Hindi and I was able to talk in my language with those patients. And then my manager really appreciated me saying that, Glory, we needed such kind of staff who can easily translate for the patient care in the ward. So I was really overwhelmed by that comment from my manager.
I want you to know the difference it makes to me in not moving me away from the problems, but dealing with the problems.
I want you to know the difference is not a weakness, difference is a strength.
I want you to know that when you support me, when you listen to me, that really makes a massive change in our work.